I'm Lineke Lijn, and in this video we are going to draw a dragon from head to toe, and I will be paying special attention to the wing area and how the wing is attached to the body, and also how the tail is coming out of the dragon and making movement. Dragons are fascinating to draw. I'm going to get started right away. When I start out in drawing this dragon, I start out with the neck. That's for me the easiest way, and from the neck up I will take a little line for the head and also for the front legs. You see me starting really left side of the paper because there will be wings going on and a tail going on, so start out as left as possible. And here you see the breast party and then going up to the belly line. I also put in the upper arm of the wing, and it's making kind of a little arch here, and I also put in the hind leg. It's a bit of a fleshy part, and it's kind of like sort of a mixture between a horse leg or a dinosaur leg, and it's kind of like a horse leg would go, but then with a lot more flesh on it. From the belly line there will also be the tail line. I'm not sure yet where to put it, but I just put it in there. I also decide where about the wing will go. I'm not sure about that either, but I only put in the lines so I get a picture for myself where everything will go. I want this dragon to be as dynamic as possible. He is looking to his left, over his shoulder as you like it, and there will be flaps, and the flaps will be going around as he's turning his head. I like to draw dynamic dragons. It's more fun to do than the static dragons. So this one is really looking around. I also placed the horns already in there, and they are coming from the top of the head where the skull is thick and hard. And I also put in the eye, so I already have a definition where the nose and the eyes will be. I always put in an ear hole. I don't know why, but I think dragons are really good at hearing, so I always take a little place for the ears. Here you can see the flaps going on, and I really want them to be very dynamic. On the throat lash I also put in some little scales that are hard and sturdy, so it makes it hard to defeat this dragon. front leg is fleshy, just like the hind legs, and the wing, the arm of the wing is coming from kind of the back of the dragon and just behind the front paw. Put in some ribs there, or maybe gill-like openings, and here I put in some muscles on the front legs, and then the scales that go down. And I put in, for this dragon, I'm putting in 3 toes. Most artists draw the dragon paws with 3 toes, and I think that looks the best. The same is going on the right front paw of the dragon. Also put in 3 toes here, and you can see the toes are spreaded wide out, like he has just landed or something. And that is, maybe put in some little pointy. I can use this for the scales on the belly. First I wanted to put in some pointy, harsh scales, but I think I'll just keep it like the breast party is like one big scale, really hard and non-penetratable by spears from knights or something. The hind leg I make very muscular. You can see the muscles here, and maybe put in a spur on the hind leg. And for the hind leg I want the feet to be more flat. So the front legs, they're more like fingers, and for the hind legs I like to think of them more as feet. Flat feet. So he can really march off if he wants to. And the front legs are more for grabbing. Here you can also see some scales going on the arm of the wing. And you can already see that I'm putting quite some muscle in there also. From the elbow I also take kind of a long finger, and then I can go up and it's kind of like the bones in your fingers. When you see an X-ray of a human hand, you can see all the little bones, and I like to use that kind of study for the wings of the dragon. And there are actually fingers going on there that are supporting the flaps of the wing, so he can open and close it as he likes. I'm going to put the tail in a little bit lower now, because I want to show it. It would be more correct if the tail was going up, but I want to show how I can draw a tail. I also have these scabs going on there, and it has to be in comparing to the wing. It has to support the dragon and to give him his balance. In this drawing I will not be paying too much attention to the wings, but I will put in some shadings and those kind of things. But I will be doing a special video on how to draw wings. Okay, let's put in some pointy scales on the top of the tail. So now I will be deciding how my tail will go. I will bend it around a little, otherwise it would go off the paper. So I will make it a swing, give it a swing, and it's going back to the body. And as you can see now, the pointy scales on the top of the tail are bending along with the movement of the tail. And I put on a big blade at the end where he can really defend himself or even kill or something. So a big blade, and below on the bottom line of the tail I put in the little scales that are also bending away. Because the tail is very movable, very flexible, I want him to be segmented. So the pointy blades I will make go bend along with the tails, and I will make them in segments so he can really swirl his tail around, and it makes the tail look really alive. I'm drawing in some muscle here, going up to the heel, to the spur, and to the feet. Maybe put in some rocky bottom, and I also put in a little shade. I want the dragon to be standing on top of some soil or something, or rocks, and this way he will not be floating in the air. I want him to stand on something, the edge of a ridge or something. I will not be doing a lot of surrounding. I'm really focusing on the dragon itself in this video. When you move to the tail and you put a little shadow in there and make the shadow go really black underneath the tail, it looks like the tail is just hitting the bottom, and it makes it come pop in front, so that's a nice effect. What I do with the wings, I will not be doing a lot of details in the wings here, but I do put in some shadows, so I simply fill it in. Here are the arches and the little toenails, or fingernails if you like, and just color this in. Make little connections between the fingers, the finger bones that are in the wings, and just shade it in. What I do now is I rub it in a little in the paper, but I only do this with the wings. So there is more definition between what is dragon and what is wing. And when you take your eraser, you can pull out the bones in the wings, and when you put a little bit of shadow between there, you can make the white pop out a little bit better. For the other side I also need a wing, otherwise this dragon only would have one wing. That's not correct. So I'm simply mirroring the other wing and also put in a little detail. And you have to be careful because on his right wing you will be looking on top of the wing, whilst as in the front wing you are looking underneath the wing. So that will be a little bit more darker. So I only put in a little detail and I will be not going into it too much. Just fade it out and that's all. The head can use a little bit more attention. And when I'm working in one area in a drawing, I always place a little bit of paper underneath my hand. Otherwise, I will be smearing my my drawing under my hand, and that would be pitiful. So when you are working in one area in a drawing, you best put a bit of paper underneath your hand. When I'm putting in detail, I take a filling pencil because it's really sharp, it's a pointy. Yeah, you can put in more little detail. So for this, I always take out my filling pencil. The horns I do very easily. I make them a little bit twisted and I just take out half moon lines, and I also put them so you start on top with the little half moons and then you simply do the same on the lowest line, and then you can make them look twisted. Scales on the neck, I put also in a little bit more detail because this is where the dark area is, and so I get some more definition on where exactly the neck is going. To bind the whole drawing together, I go over it, and the lines I'm happy with, I put in extra dark. Well, this is all for now. I think it's a nice study of a dragon, the body of a dragon, and I hope to see you in my next movie. See you later. Take care.